Not that I've done anything for like 9 weeks, but because I got COVID twice.
You've had it for a while.
9 weeks. 9 weeks. Actually, I had a respite.
Keep going.
I had a respite for 2 weeks, but then I got it again. So it's been awesome.
Well, we're back.
Yes.
It's nice to see you guys again. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Welcome to an episode of Conscious Straight Talk with Katie and Lindsey. And I'm so glad that we're all back. This COVID thing has just been a nightmare.
She gave it to me this time. She gave it to me.
You gave it to me.
No,
you had it first.
Me. No, I had it first the other time.
You had it first, and then I got it after you coughed on me.
I did cough on you.
It's on there.
I was negative. I was joking around. I was negative. She got back from New Hampshire. It's her fault.
No, it's not. Okay,
whatever. We're not. Neither one of us are going to.
But now we're healthy. I'm all better. I'm getting there. You're getting there.
I'm trying to get there.
I think the biggest thing for me was the exhaustion.
For me,
I just was so tired. I couldn't keep my eyes open.
Yeah, for me, it's the sore throat, the vomiting.
I didn't have that at all.
You vomited a lot.
I did have a little throw up, but I didn't have any sore throat. Just a really
bad headache.
And it was right here. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the worst. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we want to talk about bulimia today.
Yes.
Another fun topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So bulimia is an eating disorder in where you make yourself throw up, right? You binge food and then you go and you throw it up. Binge and purge, right?
Exactly. So what happens is that you don't eat. Lots of times you're anorexic first, but that takes so much willpower, and I'm not promoting it. And then they move to bulimia. They just usually try it all if they're really in a long-term eating disorder. But what happens is they try to be anorexic during, the day, night, whatever. They go and go and go. Then they're so starving that they can't control themselves. And then they're on the floor at night. This is totally a cliche. But then they're on the floor at night, eating ice cream and Carl's Jr. And the amount of food is like 5,000 calories. I'm just throwing out something.
It's got to make you feel awful, though.
So because their stomach is empty, then when they eat all this food, they feel sick. And so then they vomit. And that's bulimia, and usually it's a transgression. Transgression? No, that's not the right word. It's usually happens after anorexia. Not always.
Really? So a lot of times they're anorexic first.
Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, it's too hard. It's just too hard. And it is, because...
So it sounds like it's ultimately about their body. Like their perception of what their body looks like?
It's control, it's body dysmorphia, which I can go into a whole nother thing on body dysmorphia. There's a lot of control issues, and yes, there is vanity. I wish I could say that there wasn't, but there's also a lot of sexual abuse in their childhood or abuse.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of trauma.
A lot of unhealed child trauma. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what bulimia is. And if you do it long enough, eventually you just start throwing up on your own. Like you don't even have to stick your finger or the toothbrush or whatever you use down your throat anymore. You just start throwing up.
And you cause a lot of damage to your mouth and your throat, don't you?
Yeah. So your effects, because you've got all this acidity coming up, and our goal is to be more alkaline. You're destroying your esophagus, your gums, your tongue, your what am I missing? Your teeth.
Your teeth start to fall out, don't they?
Yes, and it's not a pretty look. Your hair, and then same thing. If you get too thin, then you're going to grow the cilia, which is the little hairs on your body to try to insulate yourself. However, with bulimia, not that anybody should have an eating disorder. We want to eradicate it, but it's never truly going to be eradicated.
We need to talk about it, because that's part of the problem, is that nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll notice our friends having an issue, or there's always somebody at the table that won't eat anything, or sometimes I know people that won't order and they'll take everybody else's,
or they just cut really
And so, but people don't say hey, are you going through something? Is there something going on? Why are you?
Well, I do, but that's because I'm a therapist, and I walk by people. Like I'll be at my Pilates class, and I'll walk by people, and I always hear a cluster of women going, "Oh, I need to lose 10 pounds," or "I gained this COVID weight," and blah blah blah. And I stop. I don't even know these people, and I go, "You know what? We really should be embracing our body for its health, and not as women. We should be building ourselves up. Not saying that." We need to lose 10 pounds. It never stops. Right. It's never enough. You know what I mean? So
I love that. I think that we need to embrace ourselves for who we are, what we have.
And you need to come in and tell people, be honest. I mean, I'm honest with my friends. I say, I'm worried. I think you have an eating disorder, but I'm a therapist, Yeah. But there was something I was going to say. Oh, I do believe, I'm not a doctor, but I do believe that being bulimic is actually healthier than being anorexic because you do get some nutrients before you vomit it up.
Well, none of it is good.
No, none of it is good, but at least you get something.
We were talking earlier about this intuitive eating, and I think the goal is to get there. If you want to talk a little bit about the intuitive eating.
I do, but I want to say one thing. A lot of time with bulimics, they're not going to be anorexic looking. They're going to look like your average person. They might even be overweight. And so it's easy to miss that unless you're really great friends with them or you hear them throwing up or whatever else.
I think one of the big signs is someone constantly running to the bathroom after they eat.
Yeah.
Because you do start to notice that after a while.
You do.
I've had a friend that was, and
like every time you go out to dinner with them or lunch,
they're always in the bathroom right after, and that's usually a pretty big sign.
Yeah, and
if you see that consistently in somebody, you might want to open up the conversation and say, hey, what's going on in there?
Right, and they drink tons and tons of water and ice cream. They do a lot of ice cream because it's easy to come back up.
No kidding.
So, yeah. I hate throwing up, so it's not my thing. I could never do it.
Yeah.
So, the goal there's a bunch of things. Let me tell you what I recommend to my bulimic / any sort of eating disorder client. The main goal is intuitive eating, but we'll get to that later because you have to go through so many other things. There's inpatient if you're really sick, and then you're going to have to be tube fed. There's outpatient. A lot of times that doesn't work for young people, for teenagers, or even adults because they learn new ways of harming themselves, like laxatives and just different things. Ipecac, I think it's Ipecac, it forces you to throw up, which is really horrendous. I basically tell my clients, no social media, no scale, you're not weighing yourself. If you have to go to the doctor, you stand backwards. And you tell them, I've had an eating disorder, or I have whatever, and it's a trigger for me. And that's okay. They cannot force you to get on the scale, and if you do, go backwards and don't ask your weight. I don't like people to go on to read the news because every other article is about how you lose 10 pounds or do keto or whatever the latest fad is.
I don't want that.
I also work with them on their no eating lists, and what they'll do is they'll have a list that is so extensive of the foods that they can't eat, and then a list that's about this big of the foods that they can eat. So we work on that. We work in the end on eating together, like,
have a meal together.
Yes, but that's in the end. This isn't towards recovery.
And I think that's also, if you're a friend of somebody or a parent of somebody with this eating disorder, I think that's also a great thing to do, is to sit and just eat with them, slowly understanding, with love, and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, and like I've said before, when you're inpatient or even outpatient, your meals, everything is, you have your fats, you have your carbohydrates, you have your Jell-O, nothing is off the table, and you have to sit there and finish that meal, and if not, I said before, you're going to drink an Ensure shake, which is kind of gross. I mean, to me, I think it's gross. I feel like I forgot one other thing that I like to do.
I don't think so. No news, no socials. Yeah, I think you got everything.
Oh, and I got the no scale. Oh, and the covering of the mirror again. That's huge. You want to make sure and cover, basically, well, if you don't like your boobs, you want to cover up to like here. But if you're okay with your boobs, you can go right down below.
Well, no, if they're having body issues.
Well, it depends. Maybe they like their boobs. But anyways, you can see your face, but you cover up the rest of the mirrors.
Yeah. So, and I think that's an awesome way to try to handle bulimia.
Yes.
And we need to address it. We need to be talking about it.
We need to stop those stupid women. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. We need to stop those women from getting in these groups and always talking about, oh, I need to lose 5 pounds. Oh, I need to lose 7 pounds. Oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. No, love your body. Love it
and this
for
is why
the way it functions.
Intuitive eating you were talking about, because that really is conscious. That's
right.
How you live consciously. You're listening to your body, what your body needs. You're giving it the fuel that it wants.
Right. So intuitive eating, I can do a whole segment on this, but basically it's listening to your body. It's not just sitting there, shoving in the bonbons on the couch or just shoving in the popcorn or whatever. It's listening to yourself and saying, oh my God, I need chocolate right now. I might be PMSing, I don't know, but I need chocolate right now. And it needs, you really need to listen to your body and listen to it, because if you need that, you'll try other things, especially if you have an eating disorder, like I'll just eat a little popcorn, I'll eat a carrot, or blah blah blah. Well, then you end up eating the chocolate plus the ice cream plus the everything else. So
yeah,
intuitive eating is very hard to do. I had to learn it after having an eating disorder.
I learned it in my food revolution, actually. I grew up thinking, things in a box were healthy, things, faster and easier. That was good for you. Because from the 80s and 90s, all the media that we were raised with and what we were told. Oh my God.
Cuisines.
Do you remember when they came out with the microwave dinners?
Oh yeah. And those were so cool. And
I did. I thought they were the most amazing thing. Like, and now I look at it and I'm like, ew.
They're disgusting.
But, for me, it was when I got pregnant. And I started researching everything and learning so much about food and how disconnected so many people have become with food. And that's why I want to talk about these eating disorders, because it is a hot topic. It's something that we need to be more conscious of.
It's real, and in the United States, and then the European countries, it happens. It's the prevalence is very high. I don't know the actual statistics on bulimia.
So,
but
if you do know somebody with bulimia, if you're going through this, reach out. You're not alone. We're here to help you.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. Come contact us.
Ask me questions.
And
I deal
also,
with eating disorders all day long. So
sharing is caring. So if you have some great solutions too and some ideas and you want to keep the conversation going, definitely hit us up in the comments, subscribe, get involved. We want to hear from you.
Yes, and one other thing I was going to say is I would like to bring in one of my eating disorder clients.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be
who
good.
I think she's recovered, and I think that you guys would really enjoy listening to her.
Yeah, we'll try to do that next week.